Good morning. Aloha. Welcome to Live Yoga Channel. I'm Terra. This is Evan. And we started doing live yoga classes here on YouTube last year so that we could create what we call here in Hawaii Cyber Ohana, means family. So thanks for rolling out your mat and joining us today. We'll find a comfortable cross-legged position to your degree. It's okay if there's plenty space in between your legs so that you feel comfortable and that you can get a long spine. Go ahead and roll the shoulders up and back. Take your palms to your knees, thumb and first finger touching. Go ahead and close your eyes and draw your awareness to your upper lip. Feel the breath as it moves in and out of your nostrils. Giving yourself permission over the next 75 minutes to keep your focus here at the breath, letting the breath be our tool to guide us, whether we choose to go further and try a new position, or if we notice that our breath is constrained, that's a cue from our body to back off, maybe do less. This is your practice, your body, and it changes from day to day. We'll go ahead and get started with a round of Kapalabhati. Go ahead and open the eyes. This breath practice is skull shining breath. So this is to clear out some subtle tension of the brain and the skull. So we'll do a forceful exhalation through the nose. And as that happens, we're going to be drawing back the belly button towards the spine. So there'll be a pumping. So forceful exhalation as you're drawing the belly button back, and then the inhalation happens on its own. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Go ahead and take a nice deep inhalation. Exhale, 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 exhale. Exhale, exhale. Keep going. Exhale, 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 exhale. Squeeze out all the breath. We're going to do a breath retention. Inhale, half lung air. Pause. Take your shoulders to your ears. Drop your chin to your chest. Draw up your pelvic floor as if you're keeping yourself from going to the loop. This is keeping all of the energy in the body. When you need the breath, simply release the holds. Sip in a bit more breath. Exhale slowly. Let's do this one more time. Inhale deeply. Pause. Draw the chin to the chest, shoulders to the ears. Draw your pelvic floor up. And the belly button back towards the spine. Kumbha. Breath retention. When you need the breath, simply release the hold. Inhale slowly. Exhale. Return the breath to normal. Moving from yoga from the skull and the brain, let's bring the yoga to the eyes. Let's keep our head and neck straight, moving only the eyes. Go ahead and inhale. As you exhale, look down, look up, look down, look up, look down, look up, center. Another breath in. Exhale, look far right, far left, far right, far left, far right, far left, center. Another breath in. Exhale, look down, far right, look up, far left, look down, center. Another breath in. Exhale. exhale, look down, far left, look up, far right, look down, center. Now instead of stretching the eyes, we're going to focus the eyes. Take your right arm out, shoulder height, not too high, not too low. Take the index finger and point it up towards the ceiling. Take your gaze to the fingertip, and you'll gently bend the elbow and do your best to not blink as you draw the finger, stare at the finger towards the nose. It's okay if you blink, no hard and fast rules. Slowly take the finger back out. When the elbow is straight, take your gaze past the finger. Take your gaze to the fingertip, bend the elbow, do your best not to blink as you bring that finger to your nose. Take it back out again. When the elbow is straight, look past the finger. Last one, best one. Bend the elbow, focus on the fingertip, bring it towards the nose. So very grateful for the gift of sight. When the elbow is straight, look past the fingers. Let's release the hands. Rub those hands together. Build some healing heat, some mana. Mana is what we say here in Hawaii for life force. In yoga and Sanskrit, we call it prana. So build up those healing hands and take your right palm and cup it over your right eye. Take your left palm and cup it over your left eye. Open the eyes and stare into the black abyss of your healing palms, doing your best to not let any ray of light in between your fingers. Breathe gently through the nostrils, sending healing energy to the rods, the cones, the retinas. So very grateful for this gift of sight. Go ahead and release the hands. Interlace the hands and push them away. Take them up overhead. Stretch. Reach up towards the ceiling and gauge the side ribs, bringing some length. Keep the chin parallel to the earth. And allow the belly to be soft as you engage your ujjayi breathing. Let the eyes be soft. Your gaze could be closed. Let the middle of the tongue press gently to the roof of the mouth. And you'll feel a nice or a slight constriction in the epiglottis, the back of the throat, as you're breathing here. Inviting our ujjayi breathing, our ocean-like breath. This helps to activate our parasympathetic nervous system. Go ahead and release your hands. We use this throughout our practice. Take the backs of the palms to touch. Take your right palm over your left. We're going to bring the yoga from the fingertips, the wrists, and the elbows all the way up to the shoulders. So bend the elbows, draw those hands in, draw the elbows down. And then to your degree, everybody's different. Perhaps you go a quarter way, halfway, all the way. To your degree, and then breathe slowly. Inhale, bring the hands back to our chest and then back out. We're going to slowly go to the other side, honoring that we may feel more open or more tight on this side. So you go to your degree and then breathe. Acknowledging when we're at our edge and then we stay there and focus on our breath. With each exhalation, the body gives way a little bit more. This is the power of yoga. Inhale, bring the hands back towards the body. Shake it out. Let's come to an extended seated position. Send those legs out long on the mat, toes facing up. Dandasana, stick pose. You can sit tall, you can claw your fingers so that you have height in your shoulders and chest. The toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. We're going to bring yoga to the toes. So let's do toe cranks, moving only the toes forward and back for 1 release, 2 release, 3 release, 4 release, 5 release, 6 and hold. Go ahead and release. Let's cross the right leg over the left. interlace our toes, just like we interlace our fingers. First 1 toe, 2 toe, 3 toes, 4 toes, and 5 toes. Squeeze. Even if you get 1 toe, it's fantastic. Honoring where you are today, giving it a try, staying positive in your mind's eye. And 1. Let's go ahead and release. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Acknowledging we may be able to do more than 1, maybe 2, perhaps 3 toes. The yogis acknowledge the largest communicative nerve in our body is the sciatic nerve. So we're engaging that as we're activating our toes all the way up to the midline of the body. So we're squeezing here for 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, release. Let's go ahead and bring the yoga into the ankles, awakening the vayus in the ankles. Let's go ahead and do forward and back for 1, release, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and hold. Let's make circles with our ankles. First clockwise. 4, 5, 6. Let's go opposite direction. Let's bring some loving energy to our knees. Go ahead and bend your left knee. Grab onto your elbows underneath and then sit tall. We're going to make circles with our knees. First clockwise. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Opposite direction. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll switch sides. Draw the right knee up to the chest and make circles clockwise. 5, 6. Opposite direction. Warm it up. The quads, let's come towards the front of the mat. We'll bring the right heel into the left thigh. Let's take that left heel on the outside of the left hip. This is a big stretch here, so let's take our time. First, just walking back on our hands. This may be plenty. Nice, long stretch here in the quadricep. Perhaps you have the privilege to go down on your forearms and rest. Rest here. You can let your head drop back. If this feels good to you, and you have the privilege to lay your spine completely down on the mat, you can take your arms up overhead, grab onto your elbows, and breathe slowly here. It should feel good. If you're having trouble breathing, please back off some. This is your practice. On your next inhalation, we'll take our hands back down by our sides. Help our body upright. We're going to do the same thing on the other side, taking our time. Take the left heel into the right thigh. Readjust the hips. Take the right heel on the outside of the right hip, and then walk that body back. Acknowledging we may feel totally different on this side. So to your degree. Nice long, slow breaths here. On your next inhalation, we're going to take our hands back down by our sides, help the body upright, and then everybody, let's find our way up to a standing position at the front of the mat. Taking our time, feet together, roll the shoulders up and back, finding your way into standing position. Close the eyes and feel your feet touching the floor, the mat. And please, with your awareness, bring the attention to the feet and feel the earth supporting you. Feel supported. Whether you're on the 10th floor or you're practicing out in the park and you feel the grass underneath of your mat, please visualize your feet rooting into the earth and connecting to the entire earth plane, feeling supported by the earth's magnetic frequency and grounding you, grounding our electrical bodies and creating support and ease. So very, very grateful. Next, let's bring our introspection, our awareness to that space in between our eyebrows, about an inch up. And please, if you can recall the last most beautiful sunrise or sunset you've seen in the most recent weeks, just drawing the awareness to the celestial body that our entire earth revolves around, and how the Almighty Sun, all the gifts we receive in our life, for all life on earth. Let's move through our Surya Namaskar, 12 poses to pay respect to the sun for our personal gifts that we receive. We'll be guided by our breath, so let's go ahead and inhale, deeply open the eyes. Exhale, bring the hands to prayer position at the heart. Inhale, take the arms up overhead. Look up. Look back onto the ceiling. Stretch. Exhale, let's hinge at the waist and fold forward. This is our first stretch of the day. Please no overstretching. If you need to keep some bend in the knees because we're just warming up, that's totally okay. Perhaps you can bring your hands to your shins, maybe to the backs of your calves. Perhaps you even have the privilege to bring your fingertips all the way to the mat. Let your head hang heavy so that there's a slight tilt. Your chin is tilted into your chest. Bring the weight on the feet closer towards the balls of the feet. Take the sits bones up towards the sky. Your head is heavy and you're breathing slowly. If you have the privilege to bring your hands to the mat, perhaps you can bring your palms to the mat, your fingertips facing towards the heels. You can bend the elbows and use the strength of the arms to draw your chest closer to the thighs. All the while, the top of the head is coming closer to the top of your feet. You're breathing steadily here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Draw your fingertips facing forward. Bend the knees. Take the left leg back. Drop to the knee and the top of the foot. As we inhale, our shoulders up and back. Let the hands fall to the sides. Take the chest up towards the ceiling. Go ahead and gaze. Look up. You're balancing that right knee on the midline of the body. You're balancing underneath of that right big toe. Feeling stable underneath of your left knee and the back of the left foot, or the top of the left foot. We're lunging into that front right knee as we take the chest up. Ashwasana Shavasana, equestrian pose. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the hands. Tuck the back left toes. Exhale, send that right leg back to meet the left. And this is our first mountain pose of the day. In the West, often we hear this pose called downward facing dog. Our teachers from the Himalayas, and they refer to this as mountain pose. The body's shaped like a mountain. So you're pressing down to all 4 corners of your palms, reaching those heels towards the ground, doing your best to do so evenly. Noticing that one heel might want to reach the earth more so than the other. See if you can take both heels back towards the ground evenly. Sends the sits bones up towards the heavens. Press the chest back towards the thighs. Let the head hang heavy and breathe slowly here. Bottom of the exhalation, we're going to drop to our knees, chest and chin. Ashtanga Namaskar, 8-limb pose. Come up, claw onto those fingertips. Keep the elbows in close. So I've got two feet, 2 knees, 2 hands, chest and chin on the mat. There's a nice big space between my belly and the floor. The gaze is down the nose. Squeeze the elbows in. Breathe slowly. Drop the palms to the earth. Slide the legs back. Let the belly come down to the mat. And then we're going to inhale. This first time, let's come into Sphinx. So we'll keep our forearms on the mat. Slide the chest in between the arms. Take the gaze up onto the ceiling. The tops of the feet are flat on the mat. We're breathing slowly here. Exhale, release. We're going to take our hands underneath of our shoulders. We're going to tuck the toes. As we inhale, press into the hands. Lift the hips back. Find your way back into mountain pose. Inhale deeply. On your exhalation, let's open up the mouth and let out a nice sigh. Keep the breath out. And then let's do yoga for the organs. Pump that navel center up, down, up, down, up, down. With all the breath out. Keep pumping it. Go ahead and release. Let the breath come back to normal through the nose. Massaging all of the stomach, the intestines, the spleen, the liver. Let's take the left foot in between the hands, drop the right knee in the top of the right foot. Inhale the shoulders up and back. Lunge into that front left knee. Keep the knee squeezing in towards the midline of the body. And then we're balancing on that back right knee and the top of the right foot. Take the chest and the gaze up towards the ceiling, as far back on the wall behind you, towards the wall behind you. Shavasana for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the hands, tuck the toes. Exhale the right leg up to meet the left. Forward fold. Let the head hang here. Notice the body's starting to warm up. You might be able to bring your fingertips to the earth. If you have your fingertips on the earth, you may have the privilege to take your palms to the mat and take your fingertips back towards the heels. Bend the knees, take the hands, inhale the arms up overhead, look up, look back, exhale through prayer. Release the hands to the side. Beautiful. Let's do the same thing on the other side, using 12 breaths for these 12 poses. Feet together, inhale deeply, open the eyes. Exhale, hands to prayer position. Inhale, hands up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees, right leg back. Top of the knee, top of the foot. Take the chest up, lunge into that front leg. Release the hands to the mat, tuck the toes. Exhale, send the left leg back to meet the right. At the bottom of the exhale, hold the breath out. Drop to your knees, chest and chin. Inhale, we'll slide through to Cobra. Bring the belly to the mat, tops of the feet to the earth. Slide your chest through your shoulders. Keep your elbows in. Take your gaze up towards the ceiling. We're going to tuck the toes as we exhale. Press into the palms. Lift the hips back and away. Take the right foot in between your hands. Drop to the top of the left knee and the top of the left foot. Inhale, Shavasana. Release the hands to the mat. Tuck the toes. Exhale the left foot up to meet the right. Body in half. Forward fold. Inhale, the arms up overhead. Look up. Look back. Exhale. Hands through prayer position. Release the hands to the sides. Close your eyes. in with your awareness. In between your eyebrows, at the eyebrow center. We're coming up onto a new moon this weekend. The new cycle, beautiful time to clarify and purify our intentions and set goals for the next upcoming cycle, moon cycle. The yogis love to acknowledge that the moon impacts all of the waters of our planet. The rise and fall and the tides of the oceans. And just like our inner ocean, all the waters in our bodies, all the fluids, our brain is 95% fluid. The yogis believe that our internal waters also are impacted by the phases of the moon. So we'll move through these next Chandra Namaskar, moon salutations, in honor and respect to the moon and her phases, making the mind our very best friend. Chandra Namaskar to tame the mind. Inhale, deeply open the eyes. Exhale, hands to prayer position at the heart. Inhale, take the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward, body in half. Bend the knees, left leg back, drop to the knee and the top of the foot. This time, take the hands through prayer position, and as we inhale, take the arms up overhead. Lunge into that front leg. Crescent moon position. Open up the heart, take the chest up and back. You have options here. Your hands can be parallel or in steeple to your degree. But you're lunging here. There's a smile on the face. If you have a hard time smiling, that's a cue also to back off some. And one, release the hands. Tuck the back toes. Let's go ahead and exhale, send the right leg back to meet the left. Mountain pose. Press the chest back to the thighs. Lift those sits bones up towards the ceiling. Feel the length all along the backs of the legs. See if you can reach your heels towards the mat evenly. Notice at the back of the knees, maybe one wants to press back more so than the other. See if you can press both knees evenly back towards the wall behind you. We're going to exhale, drop to our knees, chest and chin, Ashtanga Namaskar. Breathing slowly as we gaze down, the tip of the nose, the belly's up, the elbows are squeezing in. Release the palms to the mat, slide the legs back, let the belly button come to the mat. Inhale, Cobra. The butt's soft, tops of the feet are on the mat, the gaze is up towards the ceiling. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, press back. Mountain pose. Take the left foot in between the hands, drop the right knee in the top of the right foot. Again, let's take our hands through prayer position as we inhale, arms overhead and lunge into that front leg, crescent moon position. Release the hands to the mat. Tuck the back toes. Exhale the right leg up to meet the left. Forward fold. The body's starting to warm up here. Perhaps you can take your hands to the back of the ankles. Maybe you can get your palms to the earth. You can bend the elbows and use the strength of the arms to draw the chest closer to the thighs. Bend the knees, take the hands all the way up overhead as we inhale, look up, look back. Exhale through prayer position at the heart. Release the hands to the sides. Same thing for our masculine side. Inhale deeply. Exhale, hands through prayer position at the heart. Inhale, take the arms up overhead. Look up, look back. Exhale, hinge forward. Bend the knees. Take the right foot back. Drop to the knee and the top of the foot. Hands through prayer position. Crescent, moon, pose. Release the hands to the mat. Tuck the back right toes. Exhale, send the left leg back to meet the right. Drop to the knees, chest and chin. Ashtanga Namaskar. Inhale. Take the chest through your arms. Look up. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, press back. Take the right foot in between the hands, drop the top of the left knee and the top of the left foot. Hands through prayer position, crescent lunge on the other side. Release the hands, tuck the toes. Exhale the left foot up to meet the right, forward fold. Bend the knees, hands together. Inhale, look up. Exhale. Through prayer, close the series. Release the hands to the side and close the eyes and bring your awareness internally. See if you can find the beating of the heart. The yogis believe this is a precious sign of life. Visualize the heart receiving our fresh oxygen with each new breath. Coming in and out of the nostrils, our trachea, our lungs, our entire respiratory system is purifying this oxygen and sending it to the mighty heart. Within the heart is mixing with the blood and all the fluids for the body and sending powerful, fresh life to every atom, to every cell of the body. Feeling the powerful force of the heart, the emotion of love going to every cell of the body. It feels vibrant around the fingertips, the toes, the skull. All the capillaries are enlivened. Let's go ahead and open the eyes. We'll come into our first asana of today. We're going to come into chair pose. So we'll bring our knees and feet together. We're going to bend the knees some. Take the hands through prayer position. Squeeze the knees and then begin to sit down as if you're sitting down in a chair. Let's take the arms up overhead. Now the biceps can be, we're wanting the biceps to be parallel to the ears. And so you can have steeple or parallel, whatever's most comfortable for you. We're going to sit down a little bit more. Squeeze that belly button back to the spine. We're going to engage all the side ribs, getting real strong here. And then go ahead and lift the toes up off the mat, just the toes. Take your gaze in between your eyebrows up towards the ceiling for 10, 9, 8. You're staying soft in the face, relaxed in the pose, listening to the symphony of your breath. 5, 4, 3, sit down a little bit more, 2, and 1. Inhale, stand up. Exhale, release your hands back down behind you. Interlace the hands, draw the hands down the back, open up the chest, look up. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at the waist, and then to your degree, take the hands away from your low back. This should feel good as we continue to open up the heart. Breathing slowly here. 2 and 1. Release your hands to your low back, bend the knees. As we inhale, roll the shoulders up and back. We'll continue with our chair series, coming into twisted chair. We're going to bring some loving, massaging energy to the hardworking organs on the inside of the body. We spend so much time with all sorts of products on the external. We want to bring our awareness. First, let's bring our awareness to our stomach. So bringing the hands through, prayer position at the heart, inhale. As we exhale, bend the knees and take the right elbow on the outside of the left knee. I'm sorry, forgive me. Left hand elbow on the outside of the right knee. We're gonna press our hands together and twist from our hips. So we're looking up over our shoulders up towards the ceiling. Sit down a little bit more. You can stay here. You can also keep the elbow on the outside of your right knee. Take your fingertips to the earth. Take your right arm up towards the ceiling. Sit down a little bit more. Open up that right shoulder. Look up towards your fingertips. You can stay here. You can bend your elbow and take your hand to the outside of your left hip. Breathing slowly for 3, 2, and 1. Release. Bring your hands back through prayer. Let's do the same thing. This time bringing loving energy to our liver. Inhale deeply. Exhale, bend the knees and take the right elbow on the outside of the left knee. Press your palms together and twist. Stack the elbows. Take the gaze to the ceiling over your left shoulder. Sit down a little bit more. You can stay here. You can also keep your right elbow on the outside of your left knee. Take your fingertips to the ground. Take your left arm up. You can bend the elbow. Take your hand to the outside of the right hip. Breathing slowly. Exhale, let's release. Bring our hands through prayer position. Release the hands to the side. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale slowly. Great job, yogis. Let's walk back onto our mat. We're going to come into table series. So with our feet together, hands through prayer, take the arms overhead. You can be steeple or parallel. As we exhale, we're going to hinge at the waist, coming into 90 degrees. Pause at 90 degrees and reach those fingertips forward. Energetically, we're going to grow from the top of our skull towards the front of the room. We're going to send energy, shoot it out our sits bones towards the back of the wall. Your gaze is down your nose on your mat. Reach, reach, reach for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your hands through prayer position, bend the knees. Bring your weight, let it be solid on the left foot. Take the right leg, lift it up back behind you. Your hips and shoulders are square. You're pressing through your right heel. The right big toes in alignment with the midline of the body. Have some fun here, it's okay. This is balanced position. It's okay to wobble and fall. Have some fun. You can stay here, and if you don't have a neck or shoulder injury, you have the privilege to bring your arms up overhead. Reach those fingertips towards the front of the room. Engage the belly here. Stay strong. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hands through prayer position. Drop all 10 fingers to the earth. Your left hand is going to be about 12 inches in front of your big toe and about 6 inches to the left. We're going to open up, stack the hips, send the right heel back and away. Take the right hand to the right hip. We're coming into half moon position. So you can stay at any degree of your pose here, but open up the shoulders, send the right arm up towards the ceiling, and then take your gaze up past your right fingertips towards the ceiling to your degree. You can stay here, you can bend your right knee, grab onto your ankle. I had to bend my left knee to be able to do that. Extend the left leg and then kick that right foot away as we look over that right shoulder. To your degree. For 3, 2, and 1. Release. Shake it out. Everybody's different. This is your practice. Have some fun. So let's do the same thing on the other side. Bring the feet together. Bring the hands through prayer position. We're going to bend forward and then send that left leg back behind us. First, keeping our hips and shoulders square. Gaze down your nose directly to the earth below. If you don't have a shoulder and neck injury, you can send your arms up overhead. Reach towards the front of the room. Get strong here, yogis. Release the hands to the chest. We're going to take all 10 fingers to the mat. Take your right hand about 12 inches in front of and 6 inches out to the right. You can stay on your fingertips or come down to your palm. Open up the hips. Press through the left heel. Take your left hand to the thigh. Twist the head and neck. Send the left arm up towards the ceiling. Have some fun. Be playful here. And then be creative if it's okay and you're able to bend your right knee and then bend your left knee and grab onto your left ankle. Kick that leg away from you. Gaze to the ceiling over your left shoulder. 2 and 1. Release. Whew. Shake it out. Great job. In the spirit of the yogis, we like to stay positive and give things a try and see ourselves, say, in a pose, maybe next week, maybe next month, maybe next year. Let's come into swaying tree. We'll take our feet about mat distance. Inhale the arms up overhead. Take the right hand, grab the left wrist. Lengthen as we shoot our left hip out to the side and use the strength of our right arm to pull overhead. Look to the ceiling past your left bicep and then see if you can take your right arm more forward than your left. Pull for 3, 2, and 1. Back to center. Let's switch sides. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, send the right hip out to the side. Take your gaze past your right bicep to the ceiling. See if you can bring your left armpit slightly more forward than the right. Use the strength of your left hand to pull that right arm up further. And then release. Shake it out. We're going to bring our feet about 5 inches away from one another. Let's do another forward fold. This time hands to feet pose. So we'll inhale our arms up. Exhale, hinge at the waist. Now if you're still feeling tight behind the legs, it's totally okay to have your hands on your shins or the backs of the calves. For the rest of us, we're going to put our fingertips underneath of our big toes. Maybe we can bend the knees and bring the palms under our big toes. Maybe we can even get our big toes towards the wrists and we can press down onto our palms. Let the head hang heavy. Drop the chin into the chest. And then bend the elbows and use the strength of the arms to draw the chest closer to the thighs. Halasana. We're going to bend the knees, release the hands. Now if you have your hands on your shins or your back of your calves, just go ahead and stay there. Everybody else, we're going to take our peace fingers. We're going to grab onto our big toes. We're going to straighten the knees, straighten the elbows, and as we inhale, look up. Look to the wall, look to where the floor and the wall in front of you come together. See if you can take your gaze a quarter way up the wall, halfway up the wall, maybe even all the way up to where the wall meets the ceiling in front of you. Bring the weight towards the balls of the feet. Draw those sits bones up towards the ceiling for a nice upper back bend. For 3, 2, and 1. Release, bend the knees. Let's take the hands to the mat. Walk our feet back, mountain pose. Go ahead and bend the right knee, send the left heel down to the earth, straighten the right elbow. We'll do the opposite. Take the right heel to the earth, bend the left knee, straighten the left elbow. Take both heels evenly towards the earth. Take the left leg back, lift it up. You want your hips in alignment still, so the big toe of the left foot is in line with the midline of the body. Your right elbow is straight. You let your head hang. Lift that left leg a little bit more. As we exhale, we're going to swing it through in preparation for Veerabhadrasana 1. Take the right heel to the earth. Inhale the body upright. Now my hips and shoulders are square. It's as if I have a flashlight in that right hip. My back right toes are about 1 p.m. Bend, lunge into that front leg, and then take the hands through prayer position. Take the arms up overhead. Your choice, steeple or parallel. See if you can take your right armpit slightly more forward than the left. Lunge a little bit more. And then take your gaze in between your eyebrow center up towards the ceiling. You're breathing slowly here. Let's inhale. As we exhale, we're going to transform the body into Veerabhadrasana 2. Move the skeletal system. Take the right leg back a few inches. Open up the hips and shoulders so that they're facing the side wall. Glance back to make sure your little back fingertips are in alignment with the shoulder, and then lunge into that front leg. Look down your fingertips. Your front heel is in alignment. It's in the midline of the arch of the back foot. Take your right arm up to meet the left. Lunge into that front leg. Avaya Veerabhadrasana, fearless warrior. Smile at the shake of the leg, knowing that it's only going to last for a while. Your gaze is in between your eyebrows up towards the ceiling. For 3, 2, and 1. Release the left hand down to the mat on the inside of the left leg. Open up the chest. Send the right fingers up towards the ceiling. Wiggle. Take your right foot back just a few inches if that helps you to drop your pelvis closer to the floor. You can stay here. You can bend your elbow to the back of your left hip. You can find your bind. You can take your left hand underneath of your left thigh and interlace your peace fingers. Open up the chest and look up towards the ceiling. Breathing slowly here. Release the hands, drop the knee, We're going to heel toe our left foot off the mat. Let's come into Kanden Yasa. Arm balance. Evan's demonstrating. And then we're going to do variations. So your hands are going to come into push-up position under the shoulders. Bend the elbows, and what's going to happen is you're going to hook that left elbow into the left inner thigh. Walk that right knee back to where you can come into a push-up position, and you're going to hook that right elbow into that right hip bone. Perhaps this is your pose. Perhaps you can lift your right knee off the mat, and then you can begin to play with lifting one toe, both toes. Have some fun with it. A is for attempt. Give it a try. When you feel complete, let's everybody meet in child's pose. Bring your forehead to the mat. Bring your heels. Bring your hips to your heels. Take a nice deep breath through the nostrils. Exhale slowly. Return the breath to normal. See if you can find the beating of the heart. We're utilizing Earth's elements to transform and transmute our body, our earthly elements. We're changing, we're removing blockages inside of our veins and muscles and muscular skeletal system. We're so very, very grateful for the systems of our body. The respiratory system, the circulatory system, the immune system, the digestive system, all of these systems that make up our human organism. So very grateful for all the gifts we receive. And visualizing every cell in your body lit up with fresh breath, fresh life, self-love. The yogis believe that our heart governs the immense, powerful emotion of love. Every atom electrified, opening, every cell receiving more and more love. When you're ready, and only when you're ready, we're going to meet back up into mountain pose so we can do the same thing, what we just did on our feminine lunar side. Let's do the same thing on our masculine solar side. So we're going to take the left heel to the earth, and we're going to take the right heel back behind us. Straighten the left elbow, press the chest back towards the thighs. Lift the right leg a little higher. Exhale, swing it on through as we prepare for Veerabhadrasana 1. Inhale, lift the chest away from the thighs. Lunge into that front leg. Open up. Hips and shoulders facing forward. Take the hands through prayer position, up overhead. You're gripping the mat with the back of the back foot, the outside edge. Take your left armpit slightly more forward than your right, and then gaze through the eyebrow center up to the ceiling. For 3, 2, and 1. Inhale. As we exhale, let's transform the body. Make the adjustments in our skeletal system. Move the back leg back some. Open up the hips and shoulders to the side wall. And then look over those right fingertips as we bend our front knee. Strong like a warrior. Take the left arm up to meet the right. Lunge forward. Avaya Veerabhadrasana. Fearless warrior. Take the gaze towards the ceiling, in between the eyes. Just feeling strong like a warrior. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the right hand to the mat. Open up the chest. Drop the pelvis more so. Take the left arm up. Look up. Stay here or bend the elbow. Find your bind. Whatever you have in your practice today, honoring where you are. Open up that chest and look up. And 1. Release your hands. Drop your knee. Heel toe, heel toe. Let's do Kanden Yasa on the other side. So hands underneath of your shoulders in push-up position. Bend the elbows as if you're coming into like chaturanga. Take the right elbow and hook it into the right inner thigh. Bring the chest forward, lift the knee, and then hook that left elbow into that left hip bone. So then now you can play with lifting your left knee, maybe your left big toes. Find some balance. Do it a few times to your degree. And then everybody, let's meet again. Press the hips back down towards the heels. Bring the forehead to the earth. Take the arms down back by your sides, palms facing up. For child's pose. Take a nice deep inhalation. Open up the mouth and let out a nice ha. And then return the breath to normal. Allowing your mind to be soft, experience rest. As you're ready, let's come everybody, let's meet in table position with our knees underneath of our hips, our hands are underneath of our shoulders, tops of the feet are on the mat. As we inhale, let's drop the belly down and take the gaze up towards the ceiling. As we exhale, let's round everything, tucking the chin towards the chest, drawing the belly button towards the spine. Do this a few rounds at your pace, your breath. How slow and exaggerated can you go? Pause at center after your next one. Let's lift our right arm up off the mat and hand palm facing inward like you're going to reach out and shake a hand. Reach those fingertips. Keep your gaze down down underneath of your nose. Lift the left leg. Press the heel back behind you. Press the top of the right foot onto the mat for balance. Reach, reach, reach. You can stay here, or you can bend that left knee and take your right arm and grab onto your ankle. Kick that knee away from you, and then take your gaze over your right shoulder as far back on the wall behind you. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Make any adjustments you need to on your mat, and then make a strong pillar on that right palm. Take the left palm, reach that left arm out in front of you as if you're reaching out to shake my hand. Take the right leg back, press through the heel. Reach powerfully through both fingertips and the back of your right foot. Get long in your core here. Stay here or bend the right leg and grab onto the ankle. Lift and then kick that foot away. Look over your left shoulder towards your heel. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. We're going to press our heels back. We're going to come into a squats position, however you get there. Now you're going to have options here. We're going to move into an inversion practice, and I want to make sure that you have choice. So if you're having issues with your wrists and you want to just stay here in squats pose, there's plenty for you to do. You can do a side twist. You can explore and just relieve your low back. For the rest of us, we're going to come into crow pose like Evan's demonstrating here. We're going to bring our hands into prayer position. Lift our butt and take our knees to the outside edges of our triceps. We're going to make shelves with our elbows. Take the hips higher and then begin to play with lifting one toe, then the other off the mat. Give it a few tries. You can go into headstand from here. If you have a safe headstand practice in the middle of the room, by all means, please do so. Give it a few tries. Have some fun. And then let's everybody will come back down to the mat. If you have a baggy shirt like Evan, you're going to tuck that shirt into your shorts. And you have choice here. If you have a headstand practice in the middle of the room, you want to do that, by all means, please do so. If you have a headstand practice you're working on safely at the wall, by all means, do that. The rest of us, we're going to do our inversion practice by doing shoulder stand, Dandasana, queen pose. So you'll see how Evan was lying on his back and swing the legs up. Come to rest on the elbows and then the backs of the hands, your fingertips are facing towards the ceiling and there's a support on your low back. Should feel good. The chin is in towards the chest and your gaze is in between your toes. Every organ of the body is receiving a nice flush, a nice bath from all of the fluids going in the reverse direction. So every cell is smiling here. Whether you're in headstand or shoulder stand, let's everybody take our legs wide. And bring the legs back together again. If you're in headstand, let's do splits pose. If you're in shoulder stand, bring your left foot over your head towards the floor. Extend your right foot up towards the ceiling. It's okay if your foot doesn't touch the floor. Let's bring the left foot up to meet the right. We're going to take the right foot overhead. And if you're in headstand, you'll switch the direction of your splits as well. Bring your legs back up together. If you're in headstand, go ahead and do any variation. If you're in shoulder stand, let's come into Halasana. Let's bring both feet over your head. If your toes touch the earth, you have the privilege to release your hands from your low back. Interlace those hands behind you. It should feel good. And then take those hands as far away from the low back as you can. Breathing slowly here. Release our hands, bring them to the low back, bend the knees. We're going to roll out gently. And if you're in headstand, we're going to release and come down slowly. Everybody, let's meet for a moment in Shavasana, extending our legs, extending our arms, palms facing up, and then roll the head from side to side and back to center a couple times. Everybody, let's do fish pose to help counter the stress in the head, neck, and shoulders from the inversion practice. So we're going to bring our heels together, bring our toes together, press the toes down and away. You'll take your hands. I like to take the palms underneath of the butt, and then inhale, lift the chest and head up off the mat, and then as you exhale, come to rest the top of the head on the mat so that the chest is up off the mat. You're resting on your elbows and the top of the head. And then finally, we'll take our lower set of teeth past our upper set of teeth. These are our fish gills. Breathe slowly here. And one. Go ahead and release. We're going to come down slowly. Release your hands. Let your head and neck rock from side to side. Let's inhale the arms up overhead. Stretch long from your toes to your hands. We'll take our right hand and grab our left wrist and stretch to one side. We'll take the opposite hand and grab the opposite wrist, stretch to other side. Stretch through both hands. And then a yogi sit up. Use the strength of your abs. Exhale, fold forward. Come everybody, let's meet. We're going to come into forward folds. So we'll keep our feet together. I like to remove the excess flesh from my sits bones, and we're going to do a forward fold. So inhale the arms up overhead. The toes are activated, so you're pointing the toes up towards the ceiling. Exhale, fold forward. And maybe now, like thoroughly into our practice, you can grab onto your feet. Maybe your big toes. If you're super flexible, you can grab onto your wrists or maybe interlace your fingers in front of your feet. Wherever you are, inhale and open up the chest, and then exhale, fold forward and let everything round. So the idea here is that we're visualizing energetically the top of the skull, the top of the head is growing towards the top of the foot. Release the hands, inhale slowly, come upright. We're going to take our legs about as wide as the sticky mat. We'll do it this way. Take the right arm, we're going to take the right arm past the line of symmetry back behind us. You can come down to your hand, maybe your forearm. You can take your left hand down to the mat. Now all your toes, your 10 toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. This should feel really good in the side chest, and it's a beautiful twist. So take your gaze as far back on the wall behind you as you can and breathe slowly here. If down on your elbow is too much, the hand is just fine. To your degree. For 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, come upright. Do the same thing on the other side. We may feel more or less flexible, so take your left hand past the line of symmetry and then back behind you. Come down, maybe onto your forearm, and then look back and away. You're going to release, press into the palm, come upright. We're going to sit back on our tailbone, bring the knees together, come up into boat pose, Namaskar. Lift the heels. It's okay if the knees are bent. Your gaze is in between your big toes and your hands are to the side. Roll the shoulders up and back. We're breathing steadily here. Let's invite Kapalabhati, skull shining breath. Pump the belly for 3, 2, and 1. Release. Let's everybody 180 degrees spin. Come to our favorite yoga posture, Shavasana, corpse pose. Take the arms about 6 inches away from the sides. Take the feet about 12 to 16 inches away from each other. Let the feet fall towards the sides. This is the pose where we get to receive the benefits from our passion, our rajas, our efforts. We do Shavasana, corpse pose, to invite the mode of goodness, balance back into our life. So we bring rest and repair. So I'm going to guide us through an active relaxation. Go ahead and lift the left leg up off the mat 2 inches. Point the toes, flex the calf, tighten the quad, and then flop, release. Lift the right leg up off the mat 2 inches. Point, flex, flop. We're going to squeeze the buttocks and at the same time draw the belly button down towards the spine. Squeeze, 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 and release. Relax the entire pelvis and hips. Take a nice big inhalation all the way up the side ribs. Bring the breath all the way up to the chest and shoulders. Open up the mouth and let out a nice sigh. Return the breath to normal. Make a fist with the left hand, lift it 2 inches up off the mat. Squeeze, tighten, and flop. Make a fist with the right hand. Lift it 2 inches up off the mat. Squeeze, and flop. Keep the back of the head on the mat, but drop the chin into the chest, chin into the chest, chin into the chest, and release. Roll the head from side to side and back to center. We're going to do Simba, lion's breath. So inhale, draw all the energy up to the throat, the eyes. As you exhale, open up the mouth, stick out the tongue, make a funny face. Release the tongue, let the breath return to normal. This time, as you inhale, draw the energy up towards your forehead, your eyes. Squeeze your eyes, squeeze your temples, squeeze your ears. Visualize squeezing every hair on your head and release. Allowing the mind to be soft. Bring your mental awareness again to the upper lip. And without trying to control the breath, see if we can remain an observer, witnessing the breath naturally moving in and out of the nostrils. Next, bring your awareness to the navel center, and without trying to change or control the breath, see if you can simply observe. There's a natural rise and fall of the belly. Inhale, navel up. Exhale, navel down. It's slight. See if you can tune in to the natural movement of the diaphragm. Keeping our awareness here, let's do a backwards count from 10 to 1. At your pace, inhale, navel up 10. Exhale, navel down 10. Inhale, navel up 9. Exhale, navel down 9. Inhale, navel up 8. Exhale, navel down 8. Stay at your pace all the way down to 1. Doing your best to not lose count. Reach 1, go ahead and release the count, release the focus, and see if you can just let yourself totally relax. And if you find that thoughts come and go, simply let them come and go. Let everything go. Begin to draw your awareness into the physical again, allowing your breath to grow bigger inside of you. Feeling the belly grow big and it expanding up the side ribs. Take your thumb and touch each fingertip, wiggle your toes. Ready, we'll inhale our arms up overhead and stretch long into the moment as if you're waking from a juicy cat nap. Whatever kind of movement feels good for you. Eventually we're all going to meet in a sideline position, fetal pose on the right side. You can have your left arm be a nice pillow, or your right arm be a nice pillow. Take your left hand to the belly. Have a moment to honor yourself for taking the time to roll out the mat and do this full practice for you. Knowing that when we take good care of ourselves and we practice self-care, we build our self-love, and then that overflows and we're able to love even more outside of us. Giving every cell of our body some appreciation. When you're ready, and only when you're ready, let's take that left hand, we'll press it into the earth and help lift the body up right off the mat, extend the leg. We'll all come to meet comfortably in a cross-legged pose like we began. Take a few breaths, and without judgment, simply notice how you felt at the beginning of practice. And then with our focused breath, movement, and meditation, how we've transformed our body, mind, and spirit. Feeling so very grateful for the teachers that have come before us, our teacher, Yogi Charu, masters that have passed on this wisdom that we get to share together. We get to take this yoga off the mat, and so when people meet us in the world, they say, wow, something's different. We shine. We shine our yoga off the mat. So taking the hands to prayer position at the heart and then bowing. Bowing to the teacher within. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste. Mahalo nui, Cyber Ohana, for tuning in and practicing with us. It's such a joy to be able to do this with you. Roger T, Rad Dad, I know he's here with us. Others, if you're here, please subscribe, leave us a note, let us know that you're here. We're getting lots more activity from various folks around the world. We'd love to know how to say hello, aloha in your language of origin. So thanks so much for joining us. We'll be back on the mat Monday and again next Thursday. And then I join on Wednesdays. Tune in for our chair yoga and the Trust Your Gut Club. So have a beautiful weekend. Cyber Ohana. Lots of aloha.